It is the fifth race of the 2002 NASCAR Winston Cup Series season, and we stay in the state of California at the Fontana Speedway for the running of the California 500. This is the final race where we're going off the 2001 owners' points to set the field in terms of the top 35. So after this race, whoever's inside the top 35 is locked in based off 2002 owners' points and not based off last season's owners' points. And in the booth with me, Trey Bardo, I'm Joe Rakowski. A great racetrack here in California, 2-mile fast racetrack. We've been coming here since only 1997. Trey, it's a unique one for sure. What do you think we're going to see? Because last season we saw 7 cautions in the 50 laps that we run.
Which way is the weather? Is it weather favoring us today or no?
From what I've seen, I think the weather and the wind should not play an impact, at least in turn 1.
Oh, good. So we might have a chance to not see 7. We might see, what, 3, 4, 5?
Hopefully, if we see any, it's like 1 or 2. And not something that takes up most of the race. Because last season was, I think, more yellow flag laps than we had green flag laps.
Oh, Joe, that race took forever. It was terrible.
It did take forever, and the one that came out on top was Roush Racing, Zachary DeLello. Jordan Stout, his teammate, actually got second in that one, so Roush got a 1-2 here last season. And Trey, this season, they're all starting right on top of each other. Matthew Brennan at the points leader starts in 6th. Keyshawn Richardson starts in 7th. Jordan Stout starts in 8th. Zachary DeLello starts in 10th. So all 4 are inside the top 10. They all form a T right next to each other. So Trey, could it be Roush's day? They've been really good so far this season speed-wise, but have not found that victory quite yet.
Yeah, they've it seems like they've been struggling, but I mean, Joe, sooner or later they got to get it, right?
They got it. And another team that has to get it at some point, DEI, especially Eli Bright. He's been fast in basically every race we've gone to this season. Think about, Rockingham, where he dominated, almost won it. Last race at Riverside had a really good day. But he has not yet found victory lane. It's kind of been, how many times can you lose a race? How many different ways can you lose a race before you get your first one? He is on pole here at California with his beer rival, Zach Fitzwater Sr., to his outside in second place. So, Trey, could today finally be the day for Eli Bright, that Budweiser number 18, to get the victory lane here in the Winston Cup Series?
I'd like to say yes, but Joe, we know what this track is like. I mean, one, the last couple of times we went here, it's been what, a shuffle fest? So you got to make sure you time it right. And 2, you got to stay out of any disaster that comes, because, I mean, it's almost inevitable here. So you got to keep your car clean and be there at the beginning, or at the end of it is what I should say.
Yes, you do. Someone that also trying to get to the end of these races. Chris Jericho, the 18 last season's champion, has not been driving like a champion this season. Doesn't have any top 10 finishes so far through the first 4 races. Very different to what we saw last season with Jericho. So we'll see if the 18 who starts in 3rd today can pick it up and get that rhythm back to make sure he can try and maybe contend for this season's championship. But the big drivers and teams we're going to be watching for, RCR and Roush Racing, who have been dominant to start the season in terms of speed. Only one RCR car starts inside the top 10. That's the number 29 of Sebastian Kugelland in 5th. We mentioned the four Roush cars starting inside the top 10. The 2 other RCR cars start a little bit further back. They're actually on the same row. They shared the same truck and driver intros. It's the 31 of Evans, the 30 of Atkins that kind of shared that truck back there. That was an interesting I'm sure interesting truck ride there at the start of driver intros. And towards the back of the field, we had some inspection failures and just some drivers that flat out missed it. Keegan Thompson, Lathan Strickland, 2 of the bigger names, qualified at the back of the field, the 5 and the 15. But then another car, big name, that failed inspection. Brett Sierra in the 25 was set to start second. He starts at the back of the field in 42nd today. It'll be fun to see him drive his way through the field to see if he can try and get that first victory of the season. As we take a look at our Ford Fast Facts here for the California 500 at the California Speedway. Clear, it's basically the perfect day for a race here in California. Clear skies, some clouds, but mostly clear sunny skies. 75 degrees Fahrenheit for the air temperature. 3 miles an hour wind in the east direction, and no chance of rain. We're perfectly fine to get this race in here at the California Speedway. This race will be 50 laps long, 100 miles in length, and the field window 28 to 30 laps. We'll see if it stays green long enough, if that comes into play. And then the track length, 2 miles in length, 14 degrees of banking in the turns, 11 degrees on the front stretch, and 3 degrees on the back straightaway. The track was built and opened in 1997, had its first race in 1997 as well. And in terms of some of the facts of this racetrack, one Ford win here since 1997. That was Zachary DeLello last season. So Ford was winless here at California until DeLello broke through for them last season. And Jeff Bright has the most Fontana wins 2. So no one has ever won multiple except for Jeff Bright. We'll see if that trend kind of breaks. Lathan Strickland won here in 2000, and then last season we mentioned DeLello won here. So we'll see if one of those two can become the second multi-time winner here at the Fontana Speedway in Fontana, California. It's about time we get going here for the start of the California 500. Let's go down trackside, fire these 42 cars up for the 5th race of the 2002 NASCAR Winston Cup Series season.
Drivers, start your engines!
The 42 engines roll off pit road to do battle in the California 500 here at the California Speedway. And Trey, let's go to a man who's been maybe the most consistent from Hendrick Motorsports this season, Jay Rando. This 48 team missed the Daytona 500. Jay Rando got behind the wheel. He's made every race since, has performed well, shown the speed, and right now, Trey, he's inside the top 35 in owner's points, and will get that 48 locked into the rest of the races for this season, pending the top 35.
I mean, at least someone from Hendrick is showing some sort of speed, right? I mean, his closest teammate is what, the 24 back there?
Yeah, that is a lot of rows back there for that number 48 compared to the 24. So we'll see if it works out for Rando here today, if he can possibly get that victory for Hendrick Motorsports here at California. Let's go back to a 9th place starter here, Diego Yepez. Petty Enterprises, not really expected to see them start well at a track like this where, you know, high downforce, high speed type racetrack, but Yepez qualified that car inside the top 10. Some of the other underfunded cars kind of with them, Evan Hunter right behind him in 11th, Vin Guerrero in 12th, and Nathan Stapleton in 13th race. So a lot of these underfunded cars kind of qualified inside the top 15 here today.
I mean, Joe, it's kind of like a mini super speedway, so I'm not too surprised to see that, but the real question is if they're going to have to pace to stay up front with these guys.
That is true. We'll have to see throughout the 50 laps what occurs here at California. The pace car is in. The beer cars lead us to the green flag. Eli Brighton, the Budweiser 8 on the inside. On the outside, it's the Miller number 2, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., and we're going in California. Green flag at the Fontana Speedway. Well, Trey, most of the starts this season have been organized. This is anything but. There were 4 wide back here off turn 2. Roberto Carr Jr. making the big move. Stapleton backed out, realizing that was a bad move. Yepez gets shoved up by Evan Hunter. They're all scrambling as they come off turn number 4 for the first time. For the lead, Eli Bright, Keyshawn Richardson go at it. And to lead the first lap, give it to Eli Bright for pole. But it's a mad scramble behind the front 3. You can see those 3 get away, and they're 3 and 4 wide behind into turn 1. This is where the first crash happened last season.
I don't like how close they are, Joe.
I don't either.
It's making me nervous a little bit there. It's kind of like the eye of the storm right there as these front 2 kind of are starting to pull away there with Eli Bright trying to keep up. But the real question is if these, you know, pack right here, if someone makes a bad move, what's going to happen? Because that's a lot of cars really close there.
Noah Clifton back up in the middle, a little bit further back in that number 32 as there's still 3 wide, multiple rows deep behind. Here comes Evans on the outside, DeLello in the middle, down low Jordan Stout. Keyshawn Richardson leads the second lap. Jericho up to second place. Eli Bright content in third. Battle for fourth. Evans on the outside, Stout on the inside, DeLello in the middle. Evans falls back, but Trey, we think about, you know, 2 seasons ago in the 2000 race here, we crashed on lap 1. They're 5 wide going down into turn 3.
I didn't know you could do 5 wide here.
It's not over yet. There goes Mills and Yepez. Caution.
Hard hit.
Mills head onto the concrete. The yellow is out for the first time on lap 3. I was going to mention in 2000 we crashed on lap 1. Last season we crashed on lap 2. Well, this season we crashed on lap 3.
Does that mean next season, if we come back here, it's lap 4?
Lap 4 and then lap 5. Yeah, maybe we're working our way up to where we can maybe start getting some longer green flag runs. But
Joe, why were they 5 wide?
Yeah, that was bound to happen. When you get 5 wide, you're not going to make that work. And I don't know who was the one who made. I don't know if someone made it 4 and then someone decided to make it 5, or if there's just 2 moves that made it once that made it 5 wide. But
we looked back and it was Hernandez and Rando. Just, you know. they were rubbing paint.
Yeah, they were basically in the same piece of real estate, and you can't be doing that.
Surprisingly, though, I was impressed that they cleaned it up. But anyways, I mean, we'll talk about it when we look at replays. But we have guys coming in.
We do. So kind of interesting here what the strategy could be, as Stout's going to stay out and inherit the lead along with Evans in second. But then it looks like a good majority are staying out here. It looks like a lot of cars.
So what's the benefit of coming in?
Position. I have no clue, Trey. If I'm being honest, you get a little bit more fuel, but I wouldn't see that to be too big of a benefit.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe just playing it safe. I don't think there's no way they'll be getting tires, right?
I mean, no, it looks like they're just getting fuel only and going. And even for Jericho, that was a very slow or a very quick.
Oh yeah, I almost hit the guy on the pit road. That was scary. But yeah, that's I don't know what that small splash is going to get you. All right.
You gave up your top 2 spot there, probably outside the top 20
you're
for the
outside
first
top 30
start of the day.
All right. Anyways, moving on.
Well, Jordan Stout now has the lead here in the California 500. We'll take a look at what happened. The first caution is out in lap number 3. 5 wide, gone wrong, down into turn 3 here at the California Speedway. Well, Trey, we were wondering how they got 5 wide at a track like this. Well, here it is. Jose Mills, I think, gets his momentum halted by Laura Chung. Down to the inside, Hernandez has gotten put top of 3 by the 48 of Rando, the 17 Burnett. All the way on the outside by the wall, Yepez gets to run the 44, decides to take it all the way to the top. That causes the 5 wide as Yepez stuck it to the outside the 7. The 1, the 48, the 17 who were 3 wide got inside the 7, and now they are 5 wide down the back straightaway, and somehow they make it work all the way to turn 3.
Makes you wonder, does Burnett know that he's 5 wide?
That's a great question.
He's got a lot of track below him there.
That is a great question. And right here, Hernandez trying to back out, but the 48 kind of pinched him up, and then the 7 just gets connected with the 44, and that is a hard hit for Jose Mills. Head on into that turn 3 concrete.
This is 2 races in a row now. We've had a car go head on, almost full speed, like 90-degree angle into a wall.
And unfortunately, this time Jose Mills, who looked like he was, kind of moving to the front there, had a really good start to this race. And unfortunately, he's going to be out. Yepez going to have a lot of damage on that right side. We'll go take a look at this wreck one more time, but in full speed. One more view as Yepez and Mills take a hard lick into the turn 3 outside wall.
Now, Joe, I'm gonna take a little dig at you here. Did you not say before the race, you were a little surprised to see that 44 up there?
I was, yeah.
He just made a power move granted, his car's wrecked now, but he just made a power move to the outside. How often do you see that?
Well, it was another underfunded car he did it on.
It's still, though, it was a nice move.
It was a nice move until
he was in the outside.
Yeah. Well, he would have been better off just pushing the 7 down the back stretch.
You take that part out of it, it's a nice move. You put that part into it, you lose money.
If you take the present and the future out of it, it was a really good move. You just look at the past, it's fine.
Yeah, I liked it.
Well, Trey, there was some wacky pit strategy here. The front 2 decided to come in. They lose over 20 positions on pit road. Jordan Stout gains 2 positions and inherits the lead here in the California 500 at the California Speedway. Here we come to the green flag this time. Lap number 8 is when we'll take our first restart of the day. Only the 7 of Mills to the garage. All of the other 41 cars are left running on the racetrack. At the front of the field, 2 of the dominant cars of the season lead us to the green flag with Jordan Stout in the 6th and the 31 of Conrad Evans on the front 2 positions. Evan Hunter with that M&M's car currently in 3rd, 4th place to the number 30 of Justin Atkins, looking for that first ever win, and 5th place to our points leader, Matthew Burnett. Up to 6th for Sarah Kirchner, her first start in the Winston Cup Series, putting that number 40 in a good position. Luke Rainey is currently in 7th, Rando is 8th, 9th to Laura Chung, and Anthony Hernandez from middle pack is up to 10th with Fitzwater right behind him in 11th. But I want to kind of talk about this number 36 trade because it's a little bit of a campaign M&M's is running for a few races. It's M&M's vote. You basically get to vote on which color M&M you want to be put into the rotation. So we have teal on one side, pink on the other, and you have purple as well. So yeah, Trey, I guess we got to put our votes in if we want purple, pink, or teal to win.
Don't all M&Ms taste the same?
They do. It's just
it's just the color.
Just the color.
I go purple.
You go purple?
I go purple.
Well, maybe you can put in your vote, because we're going to Vegas next week in M&M's World there. Maybe we'll go visit, maybe just do something in terms of some M&M's sponsorship or something.
I'm down.
Well, there's the green flag back out. Jordan Stout gets a nice jump from Conrad Evans, who gets an even better jump from Evan Hunter. Atkins has his mirrors full and now is inside full of Matthew Burnett, who makes that big launch to the inside to turn 1.
You know, the funny part is that on the initial start, Burnett tried to do that, except he had to do it on the outside because you can't pass below the yellow or below before you start past start-finish line. So this time he was able to do it, and it kind of worked out for him.
Yes, it did. He got a spot, but now Luke Rainey's looking to take it 3 wide as Evans goes to the lead. Luke Rainey, a power move to try and get to third. Rando on the inside making some big moves as well as Evans clears Jordan Stout, and that number 31 back out in front. Remember, he won last race at Riverside, looking to make it a 2-for-2 in California so far this season. Evans leads into turn 1 uncontested from Stout behind. Here comes Luke Rainey down to the inside. Kirchner got put up to the middle by Hernandez, and she loses ground off turn 2.
Gonna say, I think Kirchner just got the welcome to the Cup Series package right there, as Hernandez absolutely sent her up the track.
Yes, he did. Hernandez, he did say he was going to be very aggressive.
Get it back, though?
Yesterday, I think he did get it back from Atkins. And how about Hernandez's teammate, Lathan Strickland, moving up here in this number 15, moving up nicely from his poor qualifying result. He was very dejected after qualifying, but here he is now, moving up nicely, and Kirchner's going to put Hernandez up top 3 wide, I think. Not too happy with what the 1 did to her.
Hey, I mean, there's a way of getting back there without making contact with the car, and it's you put them 3 wide up top, and they slowly fall back. Now, the real problem is you got to make sure you get out of that middle, and you get to the bottom instead of up top.
Exactly, because Evan Hunter is right here trying to take advantage of everything that's happening with the cars in front. It is getting very congested on the inside lane. Is up front for the lead. Stout had a run but couldn't take it anywhere on Evans. He'll fall in line right behind that number 31. Kirchner coming for third on Justin Atkins. Evan Hunter is his mirrors full of Zachary Fitzwater Sr. Brandon Beal moving up nicely. So the Chip Ganassi cars have not shown much speed so far this season, Trey, but here they are, rising to the occasion here at California. Both cars inside the top 10 as Jordan Stout leaves Evans in the dust. He's out in front now in California.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It looks like Evans checked up big time in the middle of the corner. I don't know, maybe if he felt his car getting tight and he had to let it out or what, but I mean, Evans just looked like he hit the brake and he just lost a ton of ground to that 6.
It looks like, though, a really good 3 and 4 for Evans will clear him of Sarah Kirchner, so now he can get in line, try and regroup, and run that number 6 back down. Brandon Beal moving up, but now he's abandoned by the 2 championship competitors from last season, Brett Sierra and Chris Jericho.
Oh, we're 4 wide.
At it for the championship.
Oh!
Strickland and Hunter carried up the track, but they both were able to control their cars and save it and keep a crash from happening.
I did not mean to interrupt you there, Joe, but I knew that 4 wide might not have ended very well.
Yeah, that's a reason to interrupt. If there's going to be a crash, definitely interrupt. But right here,
these guys are so
jam.
Close. What are they doing?
The front 2 get away. Evans got back by Jordan Stout. Chris Jericho, remember, he was one of them that pitted. He has moved his way back up to 3rd place, bringing Roberto Crown Jr. with him. Roberto Crown Jr. has had a dismal start to this season, but here's his number 43 up inside the top 5, going for 4th on Fitzwater, as back up to the front. Keegan and Sierra made hard contact. Teammates going at it. They saved their cars. We're still going straight. We're still green so far in California. And give a shout out to the man going 3 wide down here. Looks like Lawrence will bail out of that, but Nolan Lawrence missed the 500. But ever since then, Trey, he has the best average finish of anyone in the Winston Cup Series this season so far.
Oh my goodness, Joe. This race is going. Did you see how sideways Keegan was?
I thought it was a crash ready to happen.
Did you see how sideways he was? That was insane.
He crashed. You just didn't know he did it.
Yeah, I mean you don't see that save too often right there, especially with a car right on your outside.
That is very true. As Conrad Evans back up to the front off Jordan Stout. Here comes Jericho. Remember, just about a second or 2 more fuel than these guys, so we'll have to see if that ever comes into play throughout this race. But Jericho moving to the inside for 2nd place on Jordan Stout. It allows Evans to build a little bit of a gap, but never mind, because Jericho sent that thing in about 3 car lengths deeper than anyone around him. He's going for the lead on Evans.
Now, do you think Jericho learned from Rockingham, and that's why he came down?
Maybe so. Maybe they're like, our fuel mileage is terrible, so we're going 3 wide for the lead. Jordan Stout got the big draft from the 2 cars side by side in front, and he goes to the inside. But maybe Jericho's team was like, our fuel mileage might not be the best. Maybe we should try something.
Oh no, you said the he has a splash more fuel, and they just reminded me of Rockingham, and I said, you know where he could have used the splash more fuel?
Yeah, he would have loved about a pint more fuel at Rockingham.
Maybe they are learning, Joe. They're slowly doing it, but yeah, we'll have to see if it works out in the end. And I think these guys are kind of starting to calm down a little bit here. You know, they're starting to get a little bit more spread out. They scared each other enough. I should just say that. I mean, they're still 4 wide. Is this going to turn out good?
Oh no!
Contact.
Kirchner is
Contact.
in the sandwich with Brandon
they're
Beal was
still
kind of
4.
forcing her up, and now we have Kirchner and Chung going at it. Looks like it sorts out there, but Beal was not really giving his teammate much room, and it almost got Fitzwater involved in something he did not want to be in.
He's getting bullied today, Joe.
He is. I mean,
it's bad. These boys need to treat her with a little bit of respect.
I guess it's just that, welcome to the Winston Cup Series, and they're like, all right, you have to learn the hard way.
Yeah, putting her through her paces, though. I mean, that's like the 3rd or 4th time she made contact with someone because she got put middle 4 wide.
Oh, Mitchell Collins
my goodness.
drifted up the track almost into Jay Rando. I was, looking after qualifying. Those 2 Penske cars looked pretty good. So I was going to be, those were 2 I was going to watch for. Obviously, Fitzwater kind of got forced back there, and now Collins has moved up nicely, but now he's forced to the middle by that number 30 of Justin Atkins, who might be the one to try and run down his teammate, because right now Jordan Stout can't. Atkins might have to be the one to go up there and challenge his RCR teammate and maybe make it all 3 RCR cars to win in the first 5 races of this 2002 season.
Yeah, Joe, I mean, I think the ones to watch right now is the 2 RCR guys up here, and maybe even the 2 JGR guys, because they're making their way up here, a little bit of teamwork, but I thought Jericho was about to go 4 wide on him.
Well, you call that teamwork. I call it as the most aggressive I've seen the JGR guys race each other. Jericho looked to make a move on Wells, and Wells blocked it into turn 1. You don't normally see those 2 be doing that, but I think Mathis was like, you are not doing this to me because we need to work together to get up here. And at the moment, Atkins clears Evans, so we'll shuffle the 31 back. And a good run for Roberto Crown Jr. up to 2nd place, as now Jericho goes 3 wide on his teammate Wells and forces Evans up top even more.
Maybe another thing on that JGR situation. You think Wells is everyone really shoved up into that corner, but you think maybe he's a little tired of I mean, let's think about it this way. How many times did Wells give up a spot or 2 or block or something for Jericho here to get his championship last season? You think maybe Wells is looking for a little bit back?
Well, Mathis so far this season has been the dominant force from JGR, right? While Jericho was down there battling to try and get inside the top 35 in points, Mathis Wells was battling for the points lead. So I think Mathis at this moment, Jericho will lead his first lap of the day for 5 bonus points. Mathis is like, well, maybe I'm the championship favorite from this team this season. Maybe you should be helping me more because I'm up at the front in points and you're still back there trying to get inside the top 30.
Now, as an owner, how do you do that? I mean, JGR's owner is probably one of the most level-headed. Yeah, level-headed, laid-back, competent is what we could say, I guess. Out of majority of the owners we have, nothing against him. It's just that he kind of seems like he's more knows what he's doing and is on top of everything. But how do you do that? You have one driver going for back-to-back and the other one going for his first. And I would say you're right. The 20's been more competitive than the 18 as we're 4 wide again. Might not be too competitive after this.
Oh, no!
Oh.
Wells and Rando are in the outside concrete, and that all started Trey. It was Lathan Strickland making what I would say was too aggressive of a move for lap 21.
Did I jinx it?
I think you did.
I jinxed it. Oh, I'm going to be hearing from them, aren't I?
You might be, but...
Oh, no. He drives our car in the Busch Series.
Second caution flag is out on lap number 22, and this could set up something interesting in terms of fuel mileage because we're coming back around when pit road opens. There'll be 28 laps to go, and the fuel window is exactly 28 to 30 laps, so that splash of fuel is not going to play into this at all for the guys that came down under that first yellow.
All right, if Jericho's team's listening to me, if they listen to the broadcast, you take more fuel than you think you need.
Also, if you finish fitting the tires before you're done with filling the fuel, make sure you fill the fuel, right? Take the extra second or 2 to fill the fuel because we've seen this, today, it's not hard to pass here.
No, not at all. I mean, half the time, the guy in front of you pushes up the track, trying to protect himself, and you go right underneath him.
Exactly. So everyone should come down this time
I feel bad. I
Because
feel
you jinxed
bad.
Mathis.
I did. I'm gonna have to owe him something now.
Yeah, didn't you just go like build a shed with him or something?
I did. We had dinner in it last night. We had smoked pig, and now he's Joe.
Yeah, that's.
I feel bad. I'm gonna have to go walk down to the garage after this.
You might have to go work on that number 20 car.
I'll just buy them a new one. All right. Well, anyways, let's Well, I figure out what I need to do now. Let's watch these pit stops here. Now you gotta expect 4 tires and fuel, right?
You would expect it, but you never know. Some could gamble with 2 tires here.
Brights on.
So far, it looks like everyone's doing the status quo: 4 tires and fill it full of fuel. And I think you want to take the 4 because you're filling it full of fuel anyway. You're going to be there a while.
Oh, rainy.
Oh!
Not quite enough.
Yeah, that was very close leaving pit road for Luke Rainey and Chris Jericho. What a great battle off pit road, but it looks like it went to Jericho as they left. So the 18 will hold serve on pit road, and while one JGR car leads the race, the other is in the garage and done for the day. Mathis Wells a hard crash into turn 1 with Jay Rando. We'll go take a look at what happened to bring out the second caution here in the California 500. Well, Trey, here we are, racing off into turn 1. Lathan Strickland is going to go 4 wide on Conrad Evans, Mathis Wells, and Jay Rando. And part of me thinks, you think about the 500 after it, Evans and Strickland had a run-in. Was this left over from that, and did it unfortunately get 2 of the hardware stores involved with Mathis Wells in the Home Depot car and Jay Rando with the Lowe's car?
Well, luckily Napa supplies the car parts, and Home Depot and Lowe's supplies the tools, so they could all work together to get it fixed. But I have to agree, Joe. I mean, I know drivers, they got fined, penalized, and all that. It doesn't mean it's over, though, right? Not on the racetrack. So I could definitely see that aggressive move coming out because of the situation between those two. But it just sucks that it involved Wells and Rando, who guys were just 2 innocent victims. And if Wells is listening to this, you know where I live. You can come over, and I'll help figure out how to make up for this.
Well, that's good to hear. So we'll go take a look at this wreck one more time in full speed. And here's one more view. As you can see Lathan Strickland move out 4 wide, and I mean, we know 3 wide sometimes causes accidents here, so 4 wide's never gonna make it. And that is the second hard hit here today.
At least it wasn't as aggressive as an angle as we saw with the 7.
That is true, but it was still very hard for Mathis Wells, and unfortunately that first win of the season got to wait another week as he's involved and out of the California 500. His teammate Chris Jericho doing well, though. He's been leading laps, and he leads the race off pit road, and he leads back to the green flag for our second restart of the day here in the California 500 at the California Speedway. Back here at the California Speedway, we'll take the green flag at exactly halfway. 25 laps to go. Chris Jericho, last season's champion, currently in control. 2 cars out from that crash are Mathis Wells and the 48 of Jay Rando. And as we're pacing here under the caution flag, our Advanced Auto Parts question of the week from last week: how many different road course winners will we have this season? Trey, you said all 3 road course races will have different winners, and the fans overwhelmingly agreed at 75%. Saying we will have 3 different road course winners.
What's my record at now?
I have lost count already.
Oh my, Joe, we're only 4 seasons or 4 or 5 races in.
Yeah, well, this will happen. But this week, our Advanced Auto Parts question of the week. Next race at Las Vegas will be the first ever Winston Noble 5 race, where basically 5 drivers are in it to try and get $1 million if they win the race. So Trey, will one of the 5 drivers that are eligible next week win the first $1 million prize?
I can't say yes or no because I don't know who the drivers are.
Okay, well, there you go.
So I'm going no, or I'm not going no, but not going yes.
Not likely?
Not likely.
There you go. Well, the green flag is back out for the 18 of Chris Jericho. Luke Rainey up to 2nd place. Matthew Brennan at the points there solidly in 3rd place. There's Strickland up in 4th, and the battle for 5th is on Evans to the outside, Sierra to the inside, Keegan Thompson behind trying to fend off Anthony Hernandez. Lawrence Force tied by Smet Oskin. The first really good run of the season for Housecar Motorsports. Smet Oskin today moving that 26 well. And for the lead, here comes Luke Rainey on his brother's old ride. Jericho on the outside, the 18. Luke Rainey on the inside, the 88.
This has got to be weird for him, huh?
Yeah, battling his brother's old ride.
Yeah, every time he sees it.
Yeah,
Do you think
that
Trey
is very
watches?
true. I don't know if Trey watches anymore, but if he does, I'm sure he loves seeing the 18 have success and win the championship last season as Luke Gurney, the 88, leads that lap, his first lap led of the day. And
Oh no, again.
Strickland again. Jericho
Oh.
may have known what happened to Wells last time and backed out of it this time.
Oh wow, Rainey really backed up that corner as they're shuffling back here. Lathan is aggressive today.
Well, we did hear during the week, right, as Jericho's going to go 3 wide on Sierra and Luke Rainey right here, and maybe even 3 wide on Strickland, but the 15 did a nice job getting through the corner well. We heard throughout, this week that DEI hired Ryan Wilson, the Hendrick team owner, to move to that team to drive for next season. And Lathan basically admitted and said, yeah, I'm the one out of a ride. I have a deal lined up, but I'm no longer at DEI after this season.
Oh, they're almost 4 again. They're going to be 4. They're 4.
And 2
Joe, they're
pesky
4.
cars, an Evernham car, and I think
Oh, we're
Collins
good.
backed out of it, realizing the situation he was in, as Strickland still leads. And here comes Brett Sierra to the inside trying to lead this race and get it done. As Evans, I think, got the boot up the track for Matthew Burnett, and the 17 moves low with his with Evans' teammate Atkins right behind him, and Sierra clears and he'll lead lap number 28. Here comes Burnett with a big push from Atkins and ahead of steam for second place into turn 1.
They're 4 in the back. They're 4 wide in the back, Joe. It's going to happen again.
Oh, there goes Collins!
Goodness.
And Jordan Stout turns 1 and 2 again.
It happened again. This is looking like last race.
Not as bad, though. We've only had 3 yellows.
Oh,
So
contact.
far, we are 3 wide racing back around.
Wow,
and
Sierra really backed that corner up. They're
Oh.
4. They're going to be 4 wide coming off. They settled it down.
Burnett got shoved up by his teammate Keyshawn Richardson, and Jericho will lead again under the yellow flag. That's really good for him trying to get those most laps led and get 5 more bonus points, because if you lead under the yellows, you're guaranteed to lead like, what, from 4 or 5 laps?
I think so. Give or take.
Man, they are still not done arguing over space back here. They're trying to go 4 wide, and here's the question with this quick yellow. You'll obviously be good to make it from here. We know that they're basically on the line of being good from last, pit stop. So if there's anyone that's questionable, you may just want to come down now and, get that question out of the air and know you're good to go to the end.
Or if you don't want it, like if you just want to be safe, just come down. You're good.
That is true. So we'll see if
Even if you know you're gonna make it, still come down.
we'll see if anyone wants to come down the pit lane here. I wouldn't say any of the front runners would. Maybe if you're a little bit further back, you might as well just come down. You're already back there. You're not going to lose much track position. Just make sure you're good to go on fuel. And so far, no one has taken the bait to come in to pit lane.
I don't think we're gonna have anyone unless maybe you had contact. But I think the 2 that were in that wreck are done.
Yeah, there's the 6 and the 12. They're both on pit road. So no one decided to come down pit road to fill up on some more fuel. Chris Jericho still leads. We'll go see what happened. Mitchell Collins and Jordan Stout out of the running after another crash in turns 1 and 2. 4 wide once again. Sarah Kirchner all the way to the bottom of the 40. Keegan Thompson, Mitchell Collins both in the middle of the sandwich. And all the way up top, Jordan Stout's going to be the 2 up top. Collins and Stout that get the worst end of this as they're racing to turn 1, 4 wide. And once again, it's just not going to work here. Keegan shoves up. Kirchner's starting to shove up as well, and she gives them absolutely no room to make it work.
I think she was done being
Nice.
Yeah. Which I don't blame her. Right? I don't blame her, but I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Maybe I don't know if I could tell. Maybe Stout came down a little bit. The other ones came up, and they all just tried to go for 4 cars in one spot. And Joe, that doesn't work out.
No, it does not. And we've seen it before here at California. We've seen it again. Last season it was mostly 3 wide. This season we've seen a lot of 4 wide cause these accidents. And unfortunately for Collins and Stout, they're the victims this time. We'll go take a look at this wreck one more time in full speed. One more look. Here's the 4 wide. And just watch how much room is on the inside for Kirchner. Look at that.
Yeah, I think she tried to perform a little bit of a slide job there and clear them. And apparently they carried more speed than more speed than she thought, yeah.
And then they were racing very aggressively back around. They were 3 and 4 wide, getting back to the caution. Burnett, I think, got a shove up the track from Keyshawn Richardson right there. Kind of caught Burnett off guard right there. But still, Chris Jericho, last season's champion, leading under a 2nd straight yellow flag. We'll see if the 18 can hold on and get that first victory of the season, his first top 10 of the season if he gets it done here today. "17 laps to go here in California. Last season's champion still out in front, racking up the laps led, and more cars to the garage from that crash. They include Jordan Stout and Mitchell Collins. And for Penske, if you're Brunswick, you're going to want to look away because Derek Fitzwater Sr. had mechanical issues under this caution, a header issue. We'll see the Penske cars finishing in 38th and 37th. Trey, what a terrible, terrible few laps for that team.
Yeah, that's just, I don't know. I don't even know what you say about that.
Yeah, that's just awful luck to have, obviously Collins not really, just kind of an innocent bystander in that crash. And then here, Fitzwater was getting ready to go green and header issues. It was just coming to that one to go green and had those issues. But at the front of the field, it's the big names, the big teams of the sport. Jericho for Joe Gibbs Racing, DeLello for Roush. You have Kukulon for Richard Childress Racing, Atkins for the same team, and another Roush car, Keyshawn Richardson. That's the front five. We're back going. Jericho spun the tires, and look at the two behind. Both dart to the outside, trying to get the run. DeLello ducks back in, and now we'll look to the inside under turn one.
He's going to get there, Joe, but is going to be able to have it on his way off there as the 29's helping the 18, it looks like. But here comes help on the bottom as well. I thought the 99 was going to try to push 3 wide there for third.
Now he's going to go 3 wide. Richardson all the way to the bottom trying to make it work. Atkins stuck in the middle. DeLello, the winner of this race last season, trying to get back-to-back for Roush and Ford here at the California Speedway. DeLello moves out in front of his teammate Richardson up to second place. Here comes Brett Searer, involved in the last yellow flag of this race last season with Tim Gary, Eli Bright, and Justin Atkins. Searer moving up, and here comes Nolan Lawrence, the driver with the best average finish this season, trying to move low and get his way to the lead as Richardson flies by teammate DeLello to get out in front.
I don't know what happened to DeLello there. It looks like he just stopped.
Yeah, I don't know if he got tight or what, but definitely went up the racetrack and lost all momentum and allowed his teammate Richardson out in front. We're looking 4 wide. Strickland shoved up by Burnett. It forces Lawrence up the track. The 19 gives room. Burnett, the points are all the way to the bottom. Has up from Kukulon and Kukulon's teammate Evans. We're looking 4 again. It looks like Lawrence is going to back out of it, but that caused another 4 wide.
Here we go.
Because Atkins puts the 2 championship rivals from last season in the middle.
Going to be involved this time. They kept it clean. Not yet. There's still 4.
4 off 2.
I don't know how they kept that clean.
That was very impressive driving, but that's a lot of the big names of this sport that were up in that. Great driving by all of them to make sure they all got through.
That was, oh, we might be looking for again.
Yeah, I mean, when have we not been looking for
no, we're good.
This race? As here comes DeLello, he'll lead that lap from teammate Richardson. Here comes Kukulon, the big slingshot run. It's Roush versus RCR at the front. Eli Bright goes 4 wide.
Oh, they did it again. Oh,
they bounced off each other. Zidell shoves up in front of Jericho. The 18 staying in the gas, basically shoving him off the corner. And now we're 3 wide for the lead down the back. Here comes Justin Atkins, the only RCR car without victory this season. And Keyshawn Richardson darts to the inside, a crossover to go for the lead himself.
See how we're keeping this so clean. Oh, we're 4 again.
And it's Lathan Strickland again all the way to the bottom. His driver, Jordan Edwards, pushing his way through. I mean, this is crazy town here in California.
Now? Oh, maybe, yes. Yes, we're good. Okay, we're good.
Jericho being aggressive with Zidell. This is the first time Zidell's been towards the front of the field here today. As at the front, Richardson still leads off DeLello. As this pack of cars storms down the backstretch, they were, 3 and 4 wide multiple laps ago. Now we have just a row or 2 of 3 wide, and DeLello moved up in front of Kukulon. The 29 goes to the inside himself. I mean, here comes Riley Sprute, who first time we called the 28 car today. He's moving up to the front of the field. Lathan Strickland's coming back, winner here in 2000. Jordan Edwards, winner of the 500, trying to become the first driver to win multiple races this season. Edwards moving up nicely. The points here, Burnett now forcing out. Here comes Evan Hunter, and Hunter's teammate Tim Gary also moving up here at the end of this race.
Are you getting nervous?
I mean, with my car still in, I'm very nervous, yes.
Yeah, good thing I don't have a car in here, because I might be sweating a little bit here, but these drivers are making me stand on the edge of my seat. I mean, Joe, I don't know who to look at here.
You have to somehow cover the whole field, and it's just impossible to do with just 2 eyes. But this is This is craziness as RCR battles at the front. Atkins inside of Kukulon will take the lead away. Riley Spurlitube in the 28, moving up on the inside. He has to his outside Keyshawn Richardson, then the .0 Burnett. Here comes Lawrence, but here comes Jericho with an even bigger run. The 18 to the inside. Eli Bright moving his way back to the front after falling back at the midpoint. We are coming back around to 10 laps to go. Not much time left. Burnett going 3 wide for second place, forcing Spurlitube in the middle. But here comes Kukulon to clear in second place, and Atkins still out front the 30.
All right, Joe, I got a question for you here. Do we keep this clean for the last 10?
I do not know the answer to that. If I had to guess, I would say no, but I mean, so far this season, it's been a lot cleaner and a lot calmer than what we saw last season.
That is true. So let's just hope these guys calm down here with less than 10 laps to go, and we'll be good.
Here comes Kukulon, low on teammate Atkins, going for the lead himself. Here comes Tim Gary for MB2 Motorsports. Eli Bright and Laura Chung trying to turn around what has been so far a disappointing start to this season. Trying to shove Eli Bright down to the inside. Here comes that 24 Zidell, 43 Bertrand Crown Jr. Eli gives a shove to Tim Gary. Up the track, and Jericho's take evasive action to not get hit. The 8 gets through scot-free, but the 18 and the 10 might not be too happy with that move.
Yeah, I don't think he would be. That was a very aggressive move there from Eli, but I mean, he's trying to go for his first win here, and he looks like he's got speed late here, so I don't blame him. But oh, that was close between Richardson and Burnett, the teammates. But I don't blame him. But I mean, at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if the 10 catches back up to that 8.
Remember, Eli started on pole in this race, so we know
Oh,
that
we're
car is
4?
fast. We are 4 again, racing off into turn 3. Down to the
this one isn't
inside.
good. Oh, big
Spurley
contact.
two.
Oh,
Richardson,
more
Gary,
contact.
Jericho
Oh.
shoved up the track. He gets out if it's not getting to the wall. He'll lose a lot of spots, but he has a clean race car.
Oh, we're still 4. We're big 4 this time.
I think they're going to sort it.
Are they?
Looks like it.
No?
Hernandez trying to
Yes.
get down in front of
Maybe.
Oskin. Yeah.
Wow, that was good. Yeah, so the biggest loser out of that was the 18, who's all the way back in who knows where.
Yeah, who knows where. And how about the front 2 here, Trey? Involved in that last accident of the race last season. It was Atkins and Eli Bright. Eli very mad at Atkins after that one, took them out of contention. And now here they are, 1-2 at the end. Could it be some redemption for one of the two? As we're coming back to 7 to go, Atkins leads Eli Brent, is pulling away right there. As we're going 3 wide, here comes the other RCR car, Evans to the front. Sierra trying to get up here. Remember, he started last in this race because he failed inspection after qualifying in 2nd. And how about Nathan Stapleton making the big moves in the 71 down to the inside 3 wide into turn 1. Brandon Beal falling through in the 41.
Look at Evans through the middle.
This
I don't know how to
is
make that work.
This is intense. There goes Eli Bright for the lead on Atkins down the back straightaway. He's looking on Atkins. He gets to the inside. He has the lane to the inside, and now he has the lead himself. Eli Bright from pole position back to the front of the field. Atkins back to 2nd, and Nolan Lawrence back up to 3rd, and Nathan Stapleton inside the top 5 for the first time today with that number 71 car. 6 laps of racing to go.
I don't know who you can pick to win this race here. We've had how many different winners, as we have another swap for the lead going right now, but there's so many new guys coming up here, and if they can get to the front without wrecking each other, because I think we're at the point of no return, who do you pick?
Yeah, once we get to the line, if a yellow flag comes out, this race is official and over. So we'll see if the drivers can keep it clean for the final 5 laps as they're shoving 3 wide. Jericho is shoving his way back to the front. The 18 is already back up inside the top 15. He sees the top 10 just in front of him. Then 18, the crew is probably willing him on. He'll go 4 wide.
Oh, no.
And will it end the race? If a yellow comes out, the race is over. 5 laps to go in the California 500. Hernandez, Sierra, rub with Stapleton. They make it work. For now, we're still green flag racing at the front of the field. 3 cars break away. It's Atkins, Bright, and DeLello steaming down the back straightaway, trying to get away from the pack behind.
You think Jericho's mad?
Look at him.
I think he's a little upset.
I don't know if he drove this hard for the championship last season.
I don't think he did. I mean, he might not have been the most popular guy if that 4-wide move would have caused an accident. I'll be honest. But it didn't. I think we're 4 wide in the back, Joe.
Yeah, I mean...
I think I saw Hunter. The 77. Is this going to be it? Oh.
Jack Haas shoving it to the inside.
Oh.
Chung Evans. Strickland.
I don't know how they're keeping this clean. Oh,
and now they're looking for again. Lawrence backs out. Smart move there. The 19. Back up to the front. The battle for the lead is on Zach DeLello. And here comes Chris Jericho. He's steaming to the front of the field. There's some anger and maybe 100 extra horsepower behind the wheel of that 18 car, under the hood of the 18 car, and we're coming back around to 3 to go. DeLello, the winner of this race last season, leads, but Chris Jericho, last season's champion, and one determined driver is moving up on the inside. Here comes the points here, Burnett. Look at the run he has in the 17, racing off into turn 1.
I was going to say, don't count out this 17 here. Or don't even count out the 10 that's right here on the bottom making his way up here. If he doesn't get patched by Richardson, we know he's got speed on tracks like that. Actually, he just got shoved up by Richardson, so never mind about that.
Did. The Roush car is being very aggressive here late. Jericho clears and leads. 3 wide for second place. Burnett to the inside of Atkins and DeLello. The 97 trying to lift to get back in line. Here comes Kukulon back to the inside. Burnett to second place. Jericho clears and leads. Hunter got shoved up by Roberto Crown Jr. It's all kicking off. We're coming back to 2 to go. Can they make it back to the white flag without an incident? If they do, we'll finish this race under the green flag.
These guys seem pretty spread out for a track like this, so I think we'll be good. Burnett's going to dive it low.
And here comes
Richardson's
Keyshawn
going to dive it even
Richardson,
lower.
winner at Rockingham, trying to go for his second win of the season. Kukulon, winner at Atlanta, going for his second win of the season. Watch for Luke Rainey and Brett Searer behind as well. Atkins looking for his first ever win. He's down in line, but here comes Luke Rainey steaming down to the inside. And now 2 winners are out in front. Richardson and Kukulon coming back to the white flag, and the points leader in third place, Matthew Burnett.
Watch this 17. He might be in the catbird seat here, especially if these two get side by side on the 1 and 2. He might be able to slingshot himself even lower, like we saw Richardson do it on the last lap here. Here goes the 29. Is the 17 going to make it lower? No.
We'll see, though, because if they stay side by side down the backstretch, there will be a huge draft for Burnett into turn 3. He can maybe make one last heroic move in the final corners. Kukulon, winner at Atlanta, going for his second win. Richardson on the outside going for his second win. He won at Rockingham. Burnett, the points leader, trying to get there, but I don't think anyone can catch RCR. They'll get their third win in the first 5 races. Sebastian Kukulon is on top again, this time in California.
Oh, they're 4 wide, Joe. That's not good.
I can't believe they made it to the end of that race.
I'm just happy they kept it clean. There's how many times that it was not looking like it?
I know. We had about 3 accidents that didn't happen there that should have happened.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 18 should have been involved in like 2 or 3 of those. The who else was there? The 5 was dead sideways at some point in this race. Joe, there should have been at least 5 more cautions throughout this entire thing.
There should have, but one man who's happy there weren't any more cautions, Sebastian Kukulon, gets RCR their 3rd victory of the season, his 2nd victory of the season. And Trey, I think it's safe to say that team has turned the tide, and they are on it this season. They're looking to get back to their status of being the team at the top.
I honestly think RCR is back. I mean, all 3 of their drivers are up front for majority of this race.
Yeah, we could not go a second without seeing both a Roush car and an RCR car, right? That's just how strong they were here today.
And if anyone's going to be nervous about that, it's everyone else in this field that isn't a Roush or an RCR.
Exactly. Those 2 teams have looked head and shoulders above every other team so far this season. As we go take a look at the finishing results here from the California 500. Obviously, as mentioned, Sebastian Kukulon, 2nd victory of the season. Winner at Atlanta a few races ago. Now winner here in California. 2nd place, the points lead will extend back out for Matthew Burnett. The points leader finishes 2nd here today. Keyshawn Richardson so close to his 2nd victory of the season. 1 lap short in 3rd place. Luke Rennie, a very solid day in 4th. And how about MB2? 5th place for Tim Gary. 6th place for Evan Hunter. Both those cars strong here today in California. Really good run for Brandon Beal. He's up at the front most of the day. 7th place for that Chip Ganassi car. Brett Searer ends up in 8th, best of the Hendrick cars here today. Zachary DeLello ends up in 9th, so 3 of the Roush cars finished top 10. The other, unfortunately, involved in that crash, Jordan Stout, but he was also running well during the race. And a top 10 for Chris Jericho. While it's not the win he was wanting, his first top 10 of the season, and it was a lot better than what it was looking like with, 7, 8 laps to go when he got shoved to the back of the field and had to play catch-up. Justin Atkins ends up in 11th here today. A great run for Jack Haas, Jasper Motorsports, 12th place for that team. Riley Spurtube, Conrad Evans, and Sarah Kirchner, her first ever start, results in a top 15 finish. Then you have Nathan Simpson. He ran at the front a lot of the day. Same with Nolan Lawrence and Roberto Crown Jr. Eli Brate faded back to 19th, and Laura Chung gets a top 20 here in that number 9. Zidell never really had the car here today. 21st for the number 24. Some of the smaller teams down here that were kind of towards the front, like Osgood ended up in 22nd. Jordan Edwards ended up in 24th. And you look back here, Keegan Thompson actually lost the draft there. In that last run. He ended up in 27th. Hernandez was back there way at the back in 26. We never really talked about the 1 here today. And the cars out, obviously Fitzwater from the header, and then the rest from the accidents, including Collins and Stout, Rando and Wells, along with the 7 of Jose Mills, all out from crashes. And then obviously, as mentioned, Fitzwater from his mechanical issue, header on the number 2. As we look at the points 5 races in, these are the top 35 that are going to be fighting. Well, they'll be locked in, and we know they'll be fighting in the next race. And then any teams below the top 35 will have to make do and try and race their way in on speed. So Trey, 5 races, we've had 4 different winners, but RCR has 3 of those 5 wins, and they look to be a force to be reckoned with. The other 2 team wins, Roush, and then the newly formed Fitz Bradshaw Racing at Daytona.
I love that, Joe. I love that so much. I mean, it's nice to see old teams coming back, but sooner or later you gotta expect that, like, these other teams to catch right back up to them, right?
You would have to think so, right? We saw last season where there was kind of an ebb and flow. Like JGR looked really good at the start along with Roush, and then kind of became Hendrick Summer. And then we saw RCR kind of pick it up there a little bit, but not really to where the form they are now. And then at the end of the season looked more like Hendrick and Gibbs, and then Roush also coming in. So yeah, it kind of ebbs and flows throughout the season. We'll see how it all plays out at the next race, the first ever Winston Noble 5 race at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the UAW Daimler Chrysler 400. Trey, that's going to be a fun week out there in Las Vegas.
I'm excited to see how these guys drive it.
I am too. Vegas always a fun race. We've seen, last season a very good duel to the checkered flag. We saw back 2 seasons ago, you barely hold off Jack Haas on some strategy games. So we'll have to see how it all unfolds at Las Vegas here in the 2002 season. If it's anything like the first 5 races so far, it's going to be very, very intense and competitive next week at Las Vegas. So tune in then. Congratulations to Sebastian Kukul on his 2nd victory of the season in 5 races. For Trey Bardo, I'm Joe Rokeski. Thanks for watching JRTV's presentation of the 2002 California 500, race number 5 at the California Speedway. And tune in next week for race number 6 at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway.